Now, back to PTR Radio.
Spectacular group of men. You go find them, you throw your arms around them, you give them a big kiss on the mouth.
This is PTR Radio.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. Sorry we're running a little bit late this evening. That is entirely my fault. It's my fault because today has not run on time. So...
No, it's not your fault. Listen.
It's the
Joe
Rona?
Biden,
Oh, Joe Biden.
Listen, the Democratic National Convention needs to get their act together and realize, hey, listen, you got to get your part done before PTR Radio can go on the air. Don't be changing stuff up last minute just because Cardi B said so.
I figured just because Shaggy got older.
I am older.
Well,
I'm very old.
Gets another year older, deeper in debt, and moving a little bit slower. But that's okay. We love you anyway, brother.
And 10 times more blind. Tomorrow I actually get to go to the eye doctor to find out just how much more blind I got. I don't remember if I told you guys this story or not. And for new listeners, by the way, welcome. This is PTR Radio, where the PTR stands for Probably Totally Random. I was trying to come up with something that could say, it was where PTR was like P something tangent related, or tangents required, or something. I was trying. I'm like, how could we do PTR again where tangent was the T, because that's what we do. I mean, if you had to sum up our show in one word, tangent. That's it.
Well, that's what happens when you get the acronym first and then try to fill in what it means later.
Yeah, and the PTR has changed. Yeah, pentuple tangent.
Pentuple tangents required.
Okay. So, yeah, there you go.
So we guarantee that we will go off on at least 5 tangents per show.
Per episode. There you go. So, but no, so I, back when I turned 40, several years ago, I went to the eye doctors, as you do, and I, because I couldn't see very well, right? And my eye doctor said, well, your prescription is too strong. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, well, your eyes have gotten better. And I said, I don't understand. I know you went to school and you learned things, but I never heard of this eyes getting better. And I'm like, explain this to me. And he goes, yeah, you hit a point in your late 30s, early 40s, where your eyes actually get a little bit better. And I said, does this mean eventually, like when I'm 60, I won't need glasses at all? And he goes, no, that's not how this works. He goes, your eyes will get a little bit better, and then they're going to get dramatically worse.
Yes.
And he said, then you're going to be saying hello bifocals. And, I think I just, within the last 2 months, have been starting to say hello bifocals. Because I have become my dad where, I used to be able to see things here. Now it's here and even further. So unless I'm wearing the cheaters. It's, I never thought I was going to need those.
So
here I am.
What I've noticed, I'm at the point now where I can see, like, all right, so you see like general piece of paper. All right, here, let me use something that doesn't have any kind of special information on there. That might be a wise thing to do because we have idiot listeners. Somebody Russian hacker. Here we go. All right, so there it is, like normal type piece of paper, right?
Yep.
Fine. Closer now. So if it gets too small and I get too close, then it's like, okay, I used to be able to read that.
Yeah.
I'm not. So now I find myself doing the whole. Okay, open up the camera and zoom in that way when I need to read. Thank God I have space zoom now.
Yeah.
That's it. For me, I've just started having some issues. And so, and let me look at this. This will be coming up next. Myers here. If I get too close, and then, I start having a little bit of a problem. But, here's my thing. All I have to do is take my glasses off. And then I could be like, how close do you want me to read this? Because I can go really close.
Yeah. So
I asked my eye doctor, I said, hey, should I think about getting that laser surgery? And he'd been like, well, if you asked me 20 years ago, I said, sure. But now, you're going to get to the point real soon now where your close vision is going to start going away, and then all you have to do is take your glasses off. So if you get laser correction, then you have to have glasses to be able to just read things close. Yeah. Where all you have to do now is I just have to wear these for, being able to see far, and I just take them off so that I can read as close as I want.
These actually don't even have a prescription.
Yeah.
They're just anti-glare. I call them my computer / night driving glasses. We got a suggestion from, would anyone care to guess, for a new acronym or what PTR stands for, Precision Target Rifle.
Oh. Obviously.
Would anyone care to guess?
It's well, obviously it's someone from PETA. Here. So must be someone from our PETA crowd.
So I promised in our last show that I would make a drink.
Well, actually, you promised that you would supply us with a recipe for a drink so that Mike and I could make the drink along with you.
Listen, what? I don't want to hear a damn thing because we don't, folks. We're sorry to disappoint you, but we've decided we're going to give you all an extra 2 weeks to try and watch these fantastic movies that we picked last show because we only got a 50% completion rate out of it between all of us, and I'm screwing up the curve because I'm the only one who watched them both.
I'm not going to watch one of them, so.
No, I know you're not. I know you're not, and somebody's not allowed to pick movies anymore.
So what happened was I went through my big book of cocktails, and I realized almost all of them required way too many ingredients for me to say to you two, go get some of this and this and this and this and this and this. So I do have some recipes I think are going to be great for us to make together, but they require the weather to be colder because they're actually hot cocktails.
Okay.
So what I have instead is I'm just making myself a Mai Tai out of this Mai Tai mix. It's B.G. Reynolds. I bought it directly online. And so first you do 3 ounces of the mix.
Okay, so 3 ounces Mai Tai mix.
Yep. And then we're going to do 3 ounces of Myers rum. Because this is the rum that we have.
And Mai Tais are traditionally made with darker rum.
And this is in my family, this is the best rum. Because this is the main ingredient in rum balls, which is one of my mother's favorite recipes to make during the holidays.
Rum balls. The famous Blair rum balls. Ooh, yes. Yeah. Side note: you may be the only person in the world that is actually measures using a jigger. I do that when my wife's like, "Oh, I'll have a Tito's and cranberry," and she sees me get the measuring thing out. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?" No, eyeball that shit.
Okay.
So Shaggy, you're the only one not drinking tonight. Is that because you partook in? You're still hungover from your birthday?
No, actually, for my birthday, I had a large glass, a glass of some Powers Gold, but other than that, nothing major. But It was just a low key birthday at home.
Tomorrow I'm having a delivery, much like you did, Shaggy, where you had all your cider delivered.
Oh, so you bought $300 worth of booze?
Not quite that much, but it is cans of mead.
Mead. So you're going 12th century. So
It's funny he says that because over here on my printer, I'm not even making this up. You didn't hear a printer turn on. I have a recipe because I keep saying I'm going to
maple mead.
Because I got to do something with all this brewing equipment that I have, and mead seems to be an option that most people would sip with me. So, So how is your drink?
Very good.
Good.
Yeah, the mead I have coming in is Groenfell and Havoc.
Sounds very.
It was a Facebook ad that actually worked for once for them. So,
yeah. My wife looked at something today on Facebook, and she goes, "Yeah, I'm having trouble," because it was a sweater coat, right? And she goes, like a sweater, like hoodie thingy, like a knit hoodie, and she goes, "I'm having trouble finding any reviews on this." And I said, "Well, Amazon reviews are down at the bottom." She goes, "It's not on Amazon, it's on Facebook." I said, "Don't buy that crap." I'm like, that never works out. Never has anything on Facebook ever been good.
Yeah,
you might as well just order off a Wish.
Yeah, really. Alibaba has better reviews than Facebook stuff. I'm like, let's not do that.
So, Mama Blair's drunk. Congratulations, Papa Blair. So, yeah, speaking of like Alibaba, all right. So we talked about, I believe we talked about. Well, we may not have talked about it on the air, but because Shaggy was late, I drank more. We talked about parts for one of the pieces of equipment for the business that it's basically like a ceramic fuse.
Yeah.
And the place where we got the equipment from needed it right away. So the guy charged me $20 each, and you had to buy them in pairs. Okay, so $40. I said, let me get spares. So spend $80 on 4 of these things. They're only about the size of a dime. I get home and I start investigating, and I find them on AliExpress.
Mm-hmm.
This was back in May.
Nickel a piece?
For $1 a piece. I got 25 of them for $20 shipped, so less than $1 a piece. They got here today. I ordered them in May.
Mm-hmm.
But exact same thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I actually got a delivery today, too, that I ordered actually before yours. I ordered a freezer back in May, January, March.
Right when the lockdown started.
Right when the lockdown started. It arrived today.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you're lucky you got it.
Yeah, and my refrigerator is coming in tomorrow. 4 months for a freezer. And what was funny was we had to keep calling them to say, hey, when's this coming? They would not call us and say, hey, it's been delayed. We're now looking at this time. Hey, it's been delayed. We're now looking at this time. In fact, this one, we had to call them because we actually got the call for the delivery that we're getting tomorrow. And so we said, I wonder, which is for the refrigerator. And we're like, well, I wonder where the freezer is, because the refrigerator we placed afterwards, like a month later. And we're like, well, why would we get the one that we placed later rather than the one that we placed? So we called about the freezer, and they said, oh, yeah, it's here. When would you like it delivered? 4 months ago when we ordered it would have been great, unless you really need it sitting around in your stock room. And I'm like, so we'll take it tomorrow. And then they're like, okay, and just hung up. no time as to when the delivery was going to happen. No nothing. So they just said, okay, tomorrow. And that's it. And so today when we call back, because we were sitting around waiting until 1 o'clock at a little after 12, we're like, are they ever going to get here? Or how do we know that we just, that they're even really delivering today? So we finally called, and she goes, yeah, you were scheduled for 9 a.m., and I'm like, okay, I'm really surprised that we're even on the schedule for today, honestly. And she goes, you were scheduled for 9. It could be late afternoon. And I told my wife, I'm like, does that mean the people that are scheduled for like 3 are looking at Friday? I don't understand how their schedule works. And then they're like, well, don't worry. The driver will call 30 minutes before they're at your house. 30 minutes. And we've been told this like 5 times. Don't worry. They'll give you a 30-minute heads up.
Yeah.
And then about, 20 minutes after I hung up the phone, I get a call. Yeah, this is Lowe's delivery driver. We're about 10 minutes out from your place. Like, because my wife said, well, they're going to give us 30 minutes so we can go and run this errand. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're not going to give us 30 minutes. They're going to call and say, hey, we're down the street. Or which
They're
house.
going to say, hey, we were just there. You weren't there, so we're going back.
Yeah. So, but then they don't even back up all the way in the driveway. And I've got a huge, I've got this wide thing big enough for them to bring 2 of them side by side down because, I'm courteous. So I cleaned out tons of area for them to bring it down. And I already had the old one pulled out. I had everything ready to go for them. And, I even had the fans on the garage turned on so that it wouldn't be quite so hot in there. And they just, boom, boom, boom. It was a 10-minute delivery. So the guy looked at me because he goes, where does this go? And I go, it goes right here. And he goes, no stairs? And I said, no stairs, man, right here. And he goes, thank you.
So
and then he runs back to the truck. He goes, you're never going to guess. We don't have any stairs.
I was going to ask if this was, apparently this is an all acronym.
Oh.
Apparently if you put okay, that's new.
Yeah.
With the graphic over my face. That's a list of 322 PTR acronym meanings. Great. We'll review that.
Yeah.
Get back to it. We'll let you guys vote.
Since our name is probably totally random, we can just totally randomly put different names up.
Pick one like we do for the movies every night.
No, stop.
There's a software tool we use called NPM, and their website's npm.js. But every time you go there, it has a different name at the top for what NPM stands for.
Oh.
Well, yeah, okay. So, all right, I like this idea better. Should always use one for a topic on each show. I was actually waiting for you, Shaggy, to tell me that it was our favorite appliance warehouse, Dick Van Dyke's.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, there's issues with them, and we're not going to get into it. But yeah, I saw there were some issues, and
they were working through it. They're working through it.
But actually,
we have the best names for appliance places around here. We have Dick Van Dyke's, which has nothing to do with the actor. It just happened that the original owner of the place was named that.
Or lesbians.
And then the other local one is Sam's Best Brands. So you have Dick Van Dyke's is unique a name as you can think of, a distinctive name you can think of, and the other one's just Sam's. And it's just like, okay.
See, our local place, Happy Home Appliances. They actually, he's actually told me that when this all started, and he saw that there was a backlog or a back order situation on freezers, he started a no refund policy. If you order it, because I got to order it, there's no refund.
Yeah,
and he's still got people waiting. It's just they did not expect it because everybody went out and started hoarding meat and and frozen goods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, now
I mean, we're
with
totally
with the
trying to we're totally trying to, we had a little chest freezer before, and now it's like, hey, now we can buy more stuff to put in the freezer because we like to eat out of the freezer, eat out of the pantry, etc. We don't like to have to go to the grocery store every week. It's a pain.
Okay.
So
we actually, with the tropical storm that just rolled through, we actually have houses that the power surge, when the power came back on, fried all of their appliances. So now not only do you have all the people that were trying to buy appliances because they were, upgrading for additional storage due to COVID, now you have the people that literally need to replace their stuff.
yeah,
And the insurance companies are getting screwed because they're being forced to buy like the higher end models because that's all that they have in stock now.
yeah. So instead of a Maytag or a GE or a Samsung, you have to buy a Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Or a Viking, yeah.
Yeah. Boy, that sucks to be a homeowner in that situation, doesn't it? I mean, I get great.
What in
What? Get a freeze dryer. They are awesome.
I like watching freeze dryers on YouTube. So I have a question for you, Shaggy.
Yes.
So it's a slightly different topic.
Okay.
So when are you or your wife getting an Etsy?
We're not. We're not going to get an Etsy store, and I don't order anything off of Etsy. The closest thing we came.
Okay, 'cause we seem to be having Etsys everywhere else on the channel. So, I mean, Mike, of course, has an Etsy. My mom now has an Etsy store. My sister has an Etsy store.
I was gonna say that I saw one of the Blairs that formerly was in the sweatshop putting prices on items, and I was like, oh, something's happening here.
There was a revolt at the sweatshop. They didn't like their wages all of a sudden. They wanted to unionize. So that's
an Etsy. Okay. Now I get it.
Yeah.
no. I've been 3D printing, but I haven't been Etsying anything. But I have been 3D printing. Actually, I started trying to find useful stuff to print now. I printed a paper towel roll holder, which was pretty cool. So.
Oh, I was actually on Marketplace.
And my wife, not so sold on the 3D printer right now. But my daughter and my oldest grandson, oh boy, are they on board. My daughter actually came over the other day for my birthday, and she goes, "This is the coolest hobby you have ever gotten into, is 3D printing." I think they want to be able to 3D print more than anything else, but, I'm the one who bought the printer.
I have to find it again. I know I looked at it, but go ahead while I look.
So Mama Blair bought a cabinet. Someone was taking apart the cabinets in the house and selling them online. So she went and bought it, but it was like from the 80s and had a rail system for holding up that rail system doesn't exist anymore, and required these little plastic pegs.
Oh, I can print
those. So we went and we found that someone had found the plastic pegs and put up the plans online on how to 3D print them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we found a place online that just send us the 3D printed pegs.
Oh yeah. You can definitely order 3D prints, for sure.
So just those little things like that where you're like, okay, this is very different.
Yep.
So I came across this while I was surfing Marketplace, because apparently that's the other thing you do while you're on Facebook waiting, like right before bed. Somebody might be selling crap you might want. And this guy is selling a monoprice Maker Select Plus 3D printer, which is like the bigger model, right? But needs a new cartridge. You don't put it up there. Somebody might swipe it on me here.
Only thing it needs is a new cartridge heater,
Which they say is $10 to $15 on Amazon. And I'm like,
Yeah, the extruder is not, or the heater is not that expensive. Like I was looking at buying a brand new Swiss one, and it's like $20.
All right, so really, like for 115, I just got to look up the specs on this thing and see,
see if it's any good. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I will tell you one thing you need to look is see if the bed is heated or not. You want a heated bed.
Okay. Well, here, why not? Since we're not doing the movie review, let me.
All right. So, but so yeah, I mean, I like I said, I bought the Ender 3, and boy, that thing is super flexible in what you can do with it. People have done all kinds of things, mods and everything for that thing, and it's really cheap too. I mean, it was like $235 for what I bought, so I'm really happy with it. But pretty much any of them out there, you can get into the hobby, and I mean, filament is not cheap. Don't lie to yourself. Filament's not cheap. It's about $20 a roll, 22 something like that, shipped. But depending upon what you're doing, it can be pretty cheap to make little widgets with. And I actually found one. You want to know about one that is awesome? CR30. There is one out there that Creality came out with, which is a prototype. They haven't. I don't think it's gone to market yet. But if it's in market, it's one of the coolest little gadgets that I have seen, and it is going to just completely blow your mind. So here is the Creality CR30, which has on it a bed that rolls so it can just continually print. So then it's a little assembly line printer. So then it can just keep printing little things. And then they just fall off the edge.
How much is it?
I don't have a price on it, but it's not going to be cheap. I can tell you that right now.
Oh.
But one of the cool things is it can also print. Where's it at? Because it is a continuous belt-fed printer, you're not limited to. Oh, get off of there, stupid cats! I don't care about cat. There we go. So here you can see it printing a very long object, which would be something you would have problems with the standard printer. Is normally you'd have to print shapes, glue them together, etc. But here it's actually printing out a full-size sword or half of a sword. Because it's just a continual feed. So it has that ability, which is really, really cool, that it can do that. I also saw a model of this one printing a full-size Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and it did it without any support structure. So it printed the hammerhead first, and then the handle just stuck straight out in the middle of the air.
This is... wait a minute.
So obviously it only does one side. It would be flat on the other side, but so you'd print out two and then you'd glue them together. But that would give you a full-size sword in one piece rather than that. Typically would have been probably like 3 pieces for each half that you'd have to do.
So this is an 8x8x7 print area.
Okay.
It does have a heated build plate.
Okay. 8x8x8 is just a little bit smaller than mine. Mine's about 8.5 cubed.
Okay.
But really, the height isn't that terribly important, to tell you the truth.
No, but for $100 versus
it's a great toy. It's a great way to get into it and see if you like it.
I should just. Why am I doing this now? Because
you just email them and say, "I'll take it. I'll take it right now."
Well, I'm actually looking to see how much if Monoprice actually sells the part that he says I need, and if they do, then I'll just say, okay, I'll give you. This is how much the part's going to cost me, right from the mono price. So,
yeah, but no, it's I like it. I like it.
A
So.
toy though.
You need a toy. Everybody needs a toy. Everybody needs a, Colin's got a 3D printer. I got one. You need one. Colin's got that little pen thing, the doodle pen
somewhere.
Come on, Mike. Everybody's doing it. I love getting other people to spend money. That's one of my favorite things.
Okay, Colin. And you go, we're asking.
Yes, you can print your own Lego pieces. In fact, on Thingiverse, there's a customizable thing called like Need a Piece, where you say, hey, I want a piece that's this by this, and it's thin or it's thick or whatever, and you can just say that's what I want, and it'll then tell you, okay, here's the sign for it. And I'm actually making a present for both of you on my printer. So I designed one up that I'm going to be sending both of you guys. Because I went and did a custom one. And then I got my paints in as well. So we'll see how badly I can paint something. Because that's the other part, is that then you have to paint it. So.
That reminded me, I needed to show off my one of the most expensive Lego pieces in the world.
Okay.
Lego Mario time.
Oh, jeez.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have the entire NES Lego kit coming. It hasn't arrived yet, but it's so this thing has it's an entire LCD screen for this entire thing, and it just has holes there for the eyes to show through.
Oh, jeez.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. That is nuts. All right, so
and Bluetooth.
Oh my! So I was listening to another radio show, and they were. I'm actually behind on listening to them, so they're still into. I'm listening to late April for them, and they're just getting into the coronavirus lockdown, right? And one of the things they did was they asked their listeners, what was the weirdest thing that you bought because you were bored on Amazon? And somebody called in, and I don't agree with them. I don't think this purchase is weird. I think it's awesome. And I'm going to see if you guys agree with me. This man bought, and I won't tell you how much it is. I'll let you guess how much it is. A Bluetooth-enabled dartboard. Now, what's cool about it is the Bluetooth doesn't, and I don't know if you guys like darts or not, but the Bluetooth doesn't only just keep score with the dartboard. It actually links into an app that lets you play darts against someone else on the internet. You could have a virtual dartboard league from your house. So, 2 questions. 1, do you think that's cool? And 2, how much do you think it costs? So, Colin, you first. Do you think it's cool? Well, I guess, and 3, do you even like darts? 1, do you think it's cool? 2, do you like darts? And 3, how much do you think it costs?
I like darts. I don't like playing computer games with other people, so I'm not sure why I'd want to play darts with other people. I don't like playing games across the internet because I get bored and just want to go away, and then I feel bad that somebody else who is playing something with me is sitting there going, "Come on, throw the dart already!" As far as how much it costs, I don't know. Let's say, does it actually move the darts, or does it just tell you where the dart was?
Well, I mean, you throw the darts, it records your score, and then after the other person goes on their board in their house, it will tell you what their score was.
Okay. There's a chessboard that does the same thing, except it actually moves the chess pieces around.
Right.
So I would say $30.
$30. Okay, Mike. Those 3 questions.
So, darts, if I guess it's fun if you're at the bar. Do I think it's cool? I guess. I could see it's kind of a more physical multiplayer game kind of thing. As for price, I'm assuming that the board itself, it's Bluetooth enabled, but the board itself has to have some kind of sensor array to tell where the darts hit to be able to send the score elsewhere. I'm going to say 150.
Okay. So I did think it was cool. I do like darts, although honestly, I like metal tip darts more so, and this is a plastic tip dart, product, because you would think it would need to be, right? Metal tip darts could damage the sensors and everything. And price, $350.
It ain't that cool.
But don't worry, because that's the low-level one. The professional one is $1,600.
That's horse pucky right there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I could kind of see, especially right now, if you were a regular dart player, like if you were a guy that was in a dart league, like a bowling league or whatever, because they do have dart leagues, and you were missing that you would spend your stimulus money on a Bluetooth connected dartboard.
No.
The same person that's in a dart league would consider spending his money on a Bluetooth connected dartboard.
So, Marcy's saying,
yeah,
it's cool. For 2 games, then it goes in the storage room. Well, no, it don't go in the storage room because it just hangs on the wall.
Yeah.
And never to be opened again. We had a dartboard here. Same thing. It hung there for years until we realized people aren't come. We're not entertaining down in our basement anymore, so the dartboard is useless. Yeah, and at that price, no. But to your point, if someone like, I know there are professional dart leagues, right, and pro-am type, they're big, they're decent money. All right, there's pro bowling, so there's pro darts. All right, I'll leave it at that. If this is in your field, it makes sense.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it.
Right off.
You think about it. If you go to those like the Buffalo Wild Wings or the whatever that has the trivia games, with the TVs where you're playing against other people in other Buffalo Wild Wings, on certain nights. I don't know if you guys have ever done that before. We used to do that I used to go on a couple of nights and do that and play against other people, and you could track your score, over weeks or whatever, and you were competing. So I could see where this definitely could be, and they probably do that already. I'm probably not, coming late to the party here, but I could see where this could be a much bigger, thing where, hey, I've got my little slide card here that has my whole record, kind of like the traveling bowling leagues and stuff like that. So I could see where this could definitely be big,
Now, speaking of weird things bought because of COVID on the internet, I bought my haircut.
Yeah, I was gonna say, boy, we went with the high and tight, didn't we?
Well, I used the biggest comb that the clipper has.
The biggest guard, huh?
Yeah.
So we.
That's about an inch.
Mm-hmm. So, yep, you definitely went kind of short on the sides, that's for sure.
The side's a little shorter.
Yep.
I did the one size down on that, or 2 sizes down on that. But
yep.
I didn't clip. What was it? What did you cut yours to that one time?
Oh, way too small. Way too short is what I cut mine to. Way too short. It was like a 4. I think I like a 4. But the thing I also learned is those aren't universal. You can't say give me a 4 and just walk into any barber shop. Yeah, they're different. So actually, mine
they're pretty standardized, but
no, they're not.
The 2 is pretty small.
brand to brand is not the numbering is not the same.
Yeah. But I'm actually
learned that too.
I'm going to give mine.
I went in and looked, like I looked up online one brand and said, okay, a 4 is about an inch.
What brand was that?
I don't remember exactly, but when I went to the barber afterwards, he said, no, if you want an inch up top, you want a number 7.
Yeah.
Not even that's wrong. It's an 8. 1 inch is an 8.
I usually go 1 on the sides in the summers. Sometimes it's 0 on the sides, but yeah, no. I'm at the point where I just want to shave it all off. I really don't care. I've seen enough of those videos that I've put my face on Vin Diesel and The Rock and all, and I realized, I look all right with no hair.
Yeah,
so I've never used clippers to cut all of my hair before, so I've always gotten the scissor cut. So it's very different.
Yeah,
but hair is easy. Although I did mess up the back.
You got to have somebody else help with the back. The back is pretty difficult, yeah. And like from your ear back, getting that little part there that you can't see, and you've got to turn your hand backwards, and that's where I have my wife help. But I told her, I'm like, I'll do everything else, the best I can. And then I just need you to do where I can't. And she was comfortable doing that, but she didn't want to take responsibility if everything got screwed up. And I'm like, hey, if everything gets screwed up, it's just me. So
mine came with these ear guards. So you start behind the ear and you just put it up against the ear and you just go like this. And it has that angle on it, so it just goes through and does the taper automatically. That was the easiest thing.
Yeah.
But then the back looked too long, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll put a shorter guard on it. And so the back of my hair is kind of jagged and a little too short.
Oh, go ahead.
So I'm letting it grow out.
Turn around. Let us see. Yeah, turn around. Let us see.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Wait, see that. Yeah, that's just a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm just going to let I'm just letting it grow out a little bit, and I'll go back in and then straighten it up. I didn't want to cut the other side a little short to go up with it. I'm just like, I'll just let it grow out.
Yeah. No. And the thing is, mine, what I use is, all I have was a beard trimmer. And at the time, I didn't have, buying actual hair clippers was like, all right, you're going to wait 3 months for a hair clipper, because it was pretty well into this, right? So I'm like, okay, how big of a guard does my beard trimmer go up to? And turns out it goes up to 16 millimeters, which turns out is perfect for me. If I just trim on that, then that's about where I want it to be. It's the shortest length that I actually want my hair cut at, which is where I want my hair cut at. I want it cut as short as it possibly can be cut, and not look stupid. So, yeah. And then, funny enough, I found that my clipper set, my beard trimmer set, is not just beard trimmer. It's actually for all manscaping. And the little, I wondered, I'm like, why the heck does this have 3 different color blades, guards on it? And then I actually read the guards, and it goes, oh, well, this is for hair, this is for beard, and this is for body. And then I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha. That's for back, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So when somebody says manscaping, I'm one of those pretty much hairless guys. I don't have a hairy chest. I don't have hair. Even my legs are not really hairy. So when I think of manscaping, I'm thinking, really, you're telling people that you trim your ball sack?
Yeah, your undercarriage.
I mean.
Well, that is what.
All right. No. We're not going any further.
There's
down
a whole.
rabbit hole.
There's a whole brand called. There's a whole brand called Manscaped. So and we don't do ads for them.
I don't give a rat. Listen, can we talk about? We're going to revisit a topic that we talked about many years ago, last year, I think.
Hold on, Mike. I think we have a gateway topic that you actually posted to this. The first topic in tonight's show. That is somewhat related to manscaping. Man loses penis to infection. Doctors
I
build.
forgot that I put that in there. Why did I do that?
Doctor builds new one on arm.
So, imagine this: you have have an accident, and they tell you we're gonna use stem cells, and we're gonna be able to grow you a new Johnson. Awesome. Okay. And then after the surgery, you wake up and notice that your arm is in a cast.
Yep.
Doc, what's this? Oh, well, say hello to Mr. Johnson. On my freaking forearm?
My name is Mr. Smith.
We're in the middle of a heat wave. I can't be wearing long sleeve shirts here to hide it. What are you doing? I can't go out in public. I can't eat. Go to cut my steak and oh damn, it's in my mashed potatoes. Come on now. And it's Britain. It's Britain. So
well, I mean,
it's a British man. Of course it is. I didn't even make that connection. Of course, it's a British man. He's got bangers and mash. Yep, there you go. Okay, listen. You tell me that they couldn't find a better place to grow this thing. It had to be on his forearm, really? Now, I know the old joke like, why? No. No. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I don't get it. There had to have been a better place for it. I mean, obviously, they don't want to put it on his face. You don't want to have two noses. You don't want to make him look like a unicorn, not on his forehead. But
When it's on the forehead, that's called the UNICEF.
Okay. No, that's a non-for-profit organization. But yeah, I mean, they couldn't have grown it down his leg, like on his thigh. I mean, there's a blood supply there. Or just put it where it was going to end up.
Hold on.
Put it where it was going to end up.
I have another joke that goes along with this.
Okay.
Hold on, I gotta send you the picture.
Okay.
Where is it? I gotta find it real quick. Hold on. Oh, why does she post so much stuff? There it is.
So,
I mean, this could have been an option right here.
Oh yeah. So
that could have been an option. I'm just saying. Instead of growing it, obviously they grow them in the lab. So
well, maybe he's Jewish, and that's why they couldn't do it this way. I don't know.
So, okay, all right. So Mama Blair is asking.
Mm-hmm.
Since it isn't really seen in the photos, is it really true? You know what? I don't think I even want to think about that. And apparently we're getting really bad storms here. So if I freeze up, just
okay.
Go on without me, gents.
When McDonald was due for the operation to transfer the new penis to his groin area, he was reportedly unwell, and it was pushed to a later date. The coronavirus pandemic further added to the delays. He hopes to have his final surgery by the end of the year. He already has 2 children, so he wasn't worried about sex. A tube and a hand pump are said to allow for a mechanical erection. Hold on, honey, I got to get the bicycle pump out.
So, to tie this into one of our other favorite topics, apparently that was the subject of an episode of From Not to Hot, Family Crisis, Honey Boo Boo Child, because Sugar Bear was having trouble and they had to get a shot in Captain Winky.
Well,
and then had to use a pump. And they talked about this. Now, listen, I am not judgmental.
I just watched a result. We talked about how I finished up Heart to Heart. I just started watching Rizzoli and Isles, and that was one of the episodes where the man got penis injections.
I am not judgmental, but there ain't no attractive people on that show, and any talk of any kind of noogie is just it disturbs the hell out of me. And they do a whole episode about how Sugar Bear needs help getting it up. I can't. No. I cannot. All right, please take us somewhere else, Colin. Please.
All right.
Yeah. So here's the thing I didn't post up on there but have you heard of the obituary of Cody James Holland? I'm just going to read this because this is one of the funniest obituaries I've ever seen.
Okay.
I'll skip over the parts of it that are talking about family here. So, Cody James Holland, the man, the myth, the legend, tough guy with a big heart.
26-year-old.
Friend to most, hater to some. He loved with his whole heart. He loved his family, both biological and those he selected to be his family. He loved his black wife-beater T-shirts, his trucks, his motorcycle, his dog, his girl, his guns, hunting and fishing with his friends and family, not necessarily in that order. He loved steak, chew, and beer, again, not in that order. He loved Sour Patch Kids, Swedish Fish, Shania Twain. He loved his middle finger and pouring his butt to the world.
Yep.
In his younger days, he was pretty sure he was a gangsta. Gold chains, hat on sideways, and pants down to his ankles. Some things don't change. He grew up but still loved inappropriate T-shirts, ball caps, and big belt buckles. Cody played hard and lived life like he wanted. His favorite saying was, "You don't tell me what to do, I do what I want." Cody James left us on August 8th, 2020, as a result of injury sustained from being a dumbass. He drank, drove, and didn't wear a seatbelt. Please don't be a dumbass.
Wait a second. You missed part of it.
I skipped. If you want to go back.
When asked about future, Cody attended Hubbleton Central School, where he was a standout athlete and scholar. He loved his teammates, soccer, basketball, and baseball. When asked about future endeavors, Cody's response was, "I'm gonna be a porn star." I imagine he said it exactly that way. However, he did get a degree from Paul Smith's and became an NYS corrections officer. He worked for Bradley Service Station for many years, where he made lifelong friends. Because
that's a family who's facing what actually happened and isn't spackling it up with, we're going to miss him. Nope, he was an ass. Don't be a dumbass.
It's funny you bring that up because there's a whole big thing. Wasn't there an episode of Dawson's Creek where everybody hated the chick? And when she fell off the dock and drowned, everybody's saying all these nice things at her funeral. But then Jen was like, "Why are you all making it sound like you cared about her? You hated her and she hated every one of you. She was not a nice person." Like, lost it because everybody was lying.
I don't know. I never watched Dawson's Creek.
I remember this particular episode, and I don't know why.
I wasn't a girl, so I didn't watch Dawson's Creek.
Look, there were hot chicks on Dawson's Creek.
When I was that age and I wanted to see hot chicks, I just watched porn.
Not all of us had the internet.
I didn't have the internet. I had VHS tapes and magazines.
Suddenly, I'm understanding how one of the movies that we were supposed to review tonight got picked.
I don't even know which movie you're talking about because I ran out of time. Let me guess. The one with John Ritter? Know. Is John Ritter's movie a secret XXX film?
Let me go back because Mama Blair posted this earlier. continue watching it. You should want to watch it. Yes, you should.
I don't recommend anything that's knowingly just pornography. If that's what if that's what the issue is.
On Netflix or Amazon, it's not going to be pornographic, okay? It's going to be Cinemax style pornographic. This one went as far as to have actual porn stars in it.
Okay, well.
And I'm not even talking like
beyond just like Ron Jeremy like cameo, because I could see a Ron Jeremy cameo being in a lot of films that we watch.
This is beyond just a cameo, okay? This is a credited role by porn stars. Speaking of Ron Jeremy, did anybody see that he's getting hit with a Me Too case now? Is anyone surprised by this, first of all?
No, well, Rolling Stone charged Ron with being in the Me Too movement. He showed up as proof against the allegations. Jeremy stands accused of forcibly raping a 25-year-old woman in May of 2014. Huh. Interesting.
All right, let's go.
Interesting.
Let's go back to.
All right.
Back to the white sheet here.
Yeah, let's go back to the white sheet. So, I'll tell you what. So everybody's in. Let's go to Michael. So everybody's staying inside more, right? So and we see people staying indoors. We're not going out as much. We're not spending as much time with friends and family and activities. And so there are a lot more people, even more so than normal, that are just couch potatoes, basically, for lack of a better term. So what Design Boom has done, now granted, Design Boom, not a medical, outlet at all. But they said, taking into account, things that we do know, and that the increase of staying at home, playing video games has gone up 19% within the last year. Okay? The time that you spend on the couch just playing games. They created a visual representation of what the gamer will look like in 2040. And they called this visual representation Michael, for lack of a better name.
We're going to fight in a minute, because when you posted this up, I did not realize that they named it Michael.
Yes.
We're going to fight in a minute.
So Michael is a lifelike visual representation in an effort to raise awareness of a gaming disorder. The sculpture depicts multiple chronic symptoms of an unhealthy lifestyle spent seated away from sunlight and exercise. So here's Michael in 2040. I don't know why they decided to give him a crop top, but evidently they thought that he needed it.
I will explain. It's because Michael has a beer belly, for lack of a better way to put it. Now, a couple of things that I noted. First of all, the headphone trough, if you will, on top of his head. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, the brim here. That's a nice indentation.
All right, but the thing that really disturbed me, and especially now that I realize they named this thing Michael, is the hunch happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
During Corona, I have gone back and started playing some of my own personal PC games. And I actually am a little ashamed to admit that I am playing the Sniper Ghost Warrior series. Why? Because I got them for $10 as a bundle on one of the gaming sites. And during this stressful time at work, it gives me the ability to digitally shoot people in the head from far away. Now, what I've noticed when you posted that is when I am playing, this is kind of my stance.
Uh-huh.
very, very
Bent over.
on the way
Yes.
to being Michael.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And after you posted that,
Notice the hunchback. Yes.
I realized my chair is an office chair, not a gaming chair.
Yeah.
I wonder if a gaming chair and desk would make sense if I'm going to continue playing. Like, does it put things at a better level?
I don't know.
And
No. Because this is a gaming chair. My chair here is a gaming chair.
Okay.
And if you're playing console games, then you can just sit like this, and you have the controller, and you're good. But if you're playing PC games, this is still, doing the PC game. Chair's still way back there, and you're doing the mouse and the keyboard thing. So if that's Michael, the PC gamer, then sure. But if it's going to be Michael, the console gamer, no, he's going to be back like this. He's not going to be hunching forward.
Well, according to
He's not
this,
Well, that's true because like I guess so, because like a PS gamer, he's going to be sitting back. Yeah, I could see that.
So according to this, sleep deprivation and dehydration, lack of vitamin D, digital eye strain, and PlayStation thumb. Michael shows the physical implications of spending excess amounts of time online, going from an average of 6 hours each week to addicts, to severe game addicts who spend 18 hours a day online. Okay. Gaming disorder is now officially recognized psychological disorder by the WHO. Let's see here. Bloodshot eyes, extended period of time, also causes computer vision
Look at those
syndrome.
chicken legs.
Yep.
Look at the chicken legs, man.
Indent in the skull, like Mike said. Light pressure built up over a number of years could cause an indent in the hair, skin, and skull if stressed long enough. Overuse of headsets during gameplay over 20 years.
That dude, he walks in, you're like, bro, do you even leg day?
Look, Michael's hands have blisters on the fingertips, dude. Nintendo arthritis and trigger fingers.
Yeah, Michael doesn't have
they
fingerprints
wouldn't have
anymore
neck
because
then.
he's
Michael's legs are pale, swollen, and show varicose veins, like Grandma. First-person shooter or carpal tunnel syndrome is a condition caused by repetitive motion on the computer, mouse, and keyboard. So he's dark circles. He got a hunchback. He's obese, pale skin. Eczema, rounded shoulders, hairy ears, lack of
ears
due to lack of air circulation, bald patches due to lack of sunlight and vitamin D, swollen ankles from lack of movement. So this was on a site called Design Boom, and it was done by the onlinecasino.ca. Definitely a trusted source, I think, don't you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh.
So, Shaggy,
yes.
you have a new flag.
I do, kind of, yeah. I mean, this is Blockbuster. Blockbuster video. Everybody has fond memories back in the days of VHSs. Back in the days where some people rented VHS players because they didn't even have a VHS player in their house.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you going to go stay at the new Airbnb that just popped up? Is that why you put the flag up?
You know what? I did put the flag up in its honor because, as we know, there was only one remaining Airbnb left in the country.
One remaining what?
Blockbuster, sorry. One remaining Airbnb. One remaining Blockbuster. And it was, it was in Bend, Oregon. And so now that has changed. But, and it's now a nostalgic 90s sleepover location on Airbnb. But,
I want to do it.
I think it would be kind of cool. But I want to know, can you really spend the night in the store?
Well, yeah. What else are you... Make me look this up.
Because they were only charging like $4 from what I had read.
Oh, that suck.
I'll tell you, where are you going? I'm going to Bend, Oregon.
I'm just looking in general.
And I want to look and let's see here, my fancy, and I want to go.
$4 a night.
That's super cheap for any Airbnb.
3 one-night
Sure.
stays. Let's see. Let loose. The final guest checkout. Blockbuster customers can check out the living room space during store hours for a limited time. So they're still operating. You're only staying on the overnight. Now, I think it's funny as hell that they have like the retro candies and stuff, like retro Doritos in the snacks.
Oh, you've got to be located in their county in order to stay there. So no foreign visitors.
Oh, well,
That sucks.
No, I know.
what is that?
I don't. Here in Illinois, we have an Airbnb. I don't know if it's Airbnb, but it's a furniture store. So you can go and actually stay overnight in a furniture store. Out in the it's a giant furniture store in the middle of nowhere.
I almost had to stay at BJ's for like 2 days because of a snowstorm. Apparently, if I had made it to work on time that night and there was a monster snowstorm, I would have been asked to stay in the store until the roads and all were clear enough that people could come back in. I was so mad because when I found out what the two guys that wound up staying there, man, they pulled filet mignons out of the meat department and cooked them in the bakery. They ate steak and like
Sweet.
pretty much carte blanche. Pulled recliners down out of the steel.
Oh
Set
yeah.
up the biggest TV that they could off of the display, and they watched all the movies. Like, damn, that sounds like fun. I'd have been living off of the Pizza Hut breadsticks, man.
Yeah, you think about what
that
store,
stinks, though, that-
in addition
you
to that,
can't-
what other store would you like to be locked in overnight?
Best Buy.
I don't know. I don't know that I want to be locked in Best Buy. I don't know that it would be that fun.
You want to bet?
I mean, would it be that fun?
Go ahead, bet me on it. I got it all figured out already. Go ahead.
Okay, what would you do? What would you do?
I would camp out in the Magnolia home theater section where they have the leather recliners set up and all of the kick-ass surround sounds that I can't afford because I don't want to take out a second mortgage.
Okay.
And I'd be watching everything in 4K 7.1 surround sound with the rumble shaker underneath my recliners. The only thing that sucks is I'd have to live off of Coca-Cola and movie snacks because
Yeah.
they don't have real food.
They don't. Well, but wait a second. At least you could have popcorn
This is true.
because they got plenty of microwaves.
That's true. Do they have microwave popcorn? They probably do.
They probably do.
So,
Probably do. So,
and they got Keurigs, so I could have coffee.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. You could have coffee in the morning.
If you
have
get popcorn
soda,
everywhere, you can have vacuums.
They have soda streams, so you have like non-Coca-Cola stuff. They have energy drinks too. Like, how long are we
Yeah.
talking about here? That's the other thing.
I'm just
How
talking
long are
about
we
like
talking about?
an overnight.
an overnight
Let's make it a weekend. Let's make it a weekend.
Ugh. Am I allowed to order in?
No. Doors are locked. You can't get out. Nobody can get in.
All right. All right, then hold on. Okay, in order for me, okay, so now I got to look up Best Buy to see what their.
And let's make this more difficult. You can't. The only internet you have is on your phone. You won't have access to their network.
That's fine because I just upgraded to the Samsung S25G.
Okay. But S25? What the hell is the
S20
S25?
No, it's the S20 5G, meaning I can access the 5G network.
I didn't even. Oh, okay. The S20. All right. I'm hoping I get one of those. I don't know if I'll get one or not. I entered into a thing where maybe I'll get one for half price.
So I only got it because they were running a promo for that I could get it for $10 a month. And I said, okay, I'm okay with that. Kim is actually getting the Note 20.
Oh, wait, hold on. That is what I asked for. The Note 20, not the Note 20, not the Note 20 Ultra. Because they asked me.
Hers was she has to trade in. Okay, so all right, so Best Buy is out because I do not see any actual like other than the snack food that they have. I couldn't stay there for an entire weekend.
No. I wonder if they have beef jerky. You think they got beef jerky?
I am going to go. Y'all have Boscov's out there?
No, we don't. But if you got it, you can explain it. So that's good.
I'm going with Boscov's. Boscov's is like an old school department store.
Okay.
And they have you could furnish your house with everything except appliances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bed, sofa, that kind of furniture. They have an entire section devoted to as seen on TV.
Oh, that'd be fun just to try it all out.
They don't have a cafe, but they have like the old school fudge and sweet bakery shop in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I could survive off of that sustenance for. Well, wait a second. Hold on. They don't sell any electronics, do they? Hold on and wait a minute.
I mean, because the easy pick would be like Walmart, Meijer, Target.
Yeah,
I mean, those are easy picks. But we got to pick some place that's not that. So, Colin, while he's doing the research, what do you think? Not picking the easy ones. Where do you think you could hang out for 2 days?
Let's see.
Could you do Barnes and Noble? Could you do Barnes and Noble? Because I know how you like it.
They made me mad, and so I haven't stepped foot in there again.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of somewhere I wouldn't be able just to,
I know where I could go. Like Scheels. Scheels Sporting Goods.
Yeah, I was thinking sporting goods, but yes, you're absolutely correct. I mean, they have an entire restaurant there, so
They've got that. Not only do they have a restaurant, but they've got all the backpacking food, right? So they've got all that dehydrated food there. They've got not a carousel, but a Ferris wheel in there. If I get really hungry, I'll eat the fish out of the aquarium, And not only that, but then you could get skateboard or roller skates and go, because it's 2 levels. I mean, that'd be kind of fun. They've got a couple of arcade games. They've got guns, so you could shoot around in there. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Bicycles.
You could just think about just taking a bicycle out and just biking around the store just at night because nobody's there.
They still have the virtual NASCAR thing, or is that gone?
I think they do. I think they do still have that, and I think they got a bowling thing. I think they got a bowling thing.
Silicon Motor Speedway?
They might. I don't know, but I know they got a couple of like simulator things. I think I could have fun there for a couple of days.
Yeah, I think you picked the right one there.
I mean, because that's not something you'd normally think of. You know.
I mean, there's part of me that was thinking like IKEA, but
Oh, IKEA. IKEA would be a good pick. Boy, you couldn't. I don't know how you could get bored there. You have so much to do.
They don't have electronics, so you wouldn't have any TVs
Right.
to watch. But if you got your phone, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can test out every single bed and Swedish meatballs out the wazoo.
Yeah. They got plenty of chocolate. They got all kinds of stuff.
But I kind of feel like that's cheating, like saying you would stay at Walmart.
Yeah. I mean, it's got,
Like, to me,
4 floors. I mean,
like people go to
huge.
IKEA just for the cafe, just for the Swedish meatballs. So I kind of feel like that's cheating.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So Mama Blair saying Sam's Club. See, like any of the wholesale clubs, I feel like that's kind of cheating too, because you got a little bit of everything there.
Yeah.
It'd be too easy. How about we put it that way?
Yeah. It's an easy out.
She
for
does
sure.
vote Shields. Okay. She agrees IKEA is too easy. Of course, no. I'm not gonna drink smoothies on the mountain with you. Please stop falling in love with me. It's not gonna happen. All right. Now, Silicon Motor Speedway. What? See, they used to have one of those at the mall close to us. That's why I asked. It was actually really, really cool.
I don't know.
But see, now you're onto something. Like I'm thinking, like Dick's Sporting Goods might be a good one because they do have all the camping food. They have all the one by us used to be a Galleons, so they had the rock wall. That if you were a member of their Saver Club, you could climb the rock wall.
Ah, that'd be cool.
So I think it's still there, even though they don't let people climb it anymore. I don't think they took it down. So
Yeah.
that would be a cool place to. I don't have all the guns and stuff, but that's fine. I got plenty of stuff to entertain myself with.
Mm-hmm. That would be.
So that's a possibility.
Okay, so what's the cheapest place that you could imagine spending the night in? Like the lowest caliber. So like, could you spend the weekend in a Big Lots and still be okay?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, Big Lots was
Absolutely.
going to be my answer there.
How about a Family Dollar or Dollar Tree or Dollar Store?
Dollar Tree, absolutely. My biggest problem with the Dollar Tree is the frozen food section. Listen, Dollar Tree sells $1 spicy chicken sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the best $1 meal you're ever going to have in your freaking life. The problem is Dollar Tree doesn't sell microwaves. So unless I have access to the break room,
Which you
where
would.
there may be a microwave.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there is a microwave in the break room that I can heat some of this food up, Dollar Tree might be my go-to. They don't have any kind of furniture for me to sleep on,
Right.
but they do have a bunch of Mylar balloons and a helium tank.
They might have
Looks
some.
like-
Wait a second. They might have some
Or
bean
pool
bags, pool noodles.
noodles. I will weave pool noodles into a mattress.
If nothing
That was
else,
48 hours in a 7-Eleven.
again, sleeping would be your problem because they don't have someplace cozy to sleep on. But you would have enough roller hot dogs to survive till the next coming of Christ. And I would have fun with just what I could put in the Slurpee machine. That would just be hours of enjoyment.
Well, the problem is that 7-Eleven would never actually close, so you wouldn't be able to. You'd be a little more limited.
Well, no, this would be a scenario in which they would close, and it would be just you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
They might have a hammock.
I don't know if she's talking about Dollar Tree.
I think she'd be talking about Dollar Tree, Dollar General type thing. Yeah, they might, depending upon the season.
The previous one was Ace Hardware on Hot Dog Day. We don't have an Ace Hardware around here that does any kind of. We're lucky that the Home Depot by us does popcorn occasionally.
Oh,
And usually when they do the popcorn as you're walking in, because the Sunrun solar fucker is set up right across the aisle from, and it gives you a chance to stop and him a chance to swoop in and be like, "Hey, have you ever thought about solar for your house?" And that's what, like, yeah, I rent. That's why I'm eating popcorn for free.
You know, it's like I don't think I could do a Harbor Freight because there's no. I don't even think they have candy bars there. But like I could do like a Menards or a Lowe's or a Home Depot. Because you got places to sleep in lawn and garden. Save a lot. Same thing as a Big Lots.
Well, okay, so even like, yeah, I was gonna say lawn and garden. You could even like roll out some sod and make a earth bed.
You're not gonna take the lounge chair that people would put on their deck. No, you pick sod.
Well, no, it depends on the time of the year. Like if you did it now, they don't have summer stuff out.
Okay, but I would take a Christmas inflatable. And just lay Santa down, and there's my bed.
Out either. You know what? Do you know what right now is at Home Depot?
What?
Bathroom shit. So you got vanities, you got toilets, you got sinks,
hold on. I got rugs.
Mirrors.
I got rugs. I pile up rugs.
Rugs are not comfortable.
I put down bags of insulation first. That's my padding.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I just thought.
Right.
Okay,
Got me there.
I think I just got the perfect one. Cheap. Unlikely you wouldn't think of it.
Okay.
Has food. Possibly could, and this is a hint, have air mattresses in the aisle of shame.
Aldi. Here's the problem. All these aisles of shame. Listen. Okay, so we're gonna deviate here. Here's tangent number 3 for the show.
Okay,
we're gonna deviate because I have noticed the number of people complaining in the damn aisle of shame group about the lack of aisle of shame stuff has logarithmically been increasing. Our Aldi does not have an aisle of shame now. Do you know what it has?
Oh.
It has empty racks.
Well, you know why? They're not getting their deliveries from China. So that's why.
Here's and this may be cheating.
Mm-hmm.
What about a Love's
gas station? The Love's truck station.
Truck stop.
The
truck stop.
Okay, well, you got a shower.
That's probably cheating, but
okay. So let's see here. You got a shower. You have DVDs, but nothing to play them on because they sell those there.
Not true. No, not entirely true.
Oh wait, hold on. They do sell those like portable DVD players, don't they? A lot of times.
Yes.
You got tons to eat and drink that they got. Sometimes they have like a country skillet or whatever attached, like some dive greasy spoon place.
Yeah. Sometimes just a Subway or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes
they have the game room.
Yeah, they do have a game room.
They might have the bed or a massage.
Sometimes they have a dentist if you really need it. It just depends.
This reminds me. There was a guy. When I was going down the rabbit hole on YouTube, he spent 24 hours at the world's largest truck stop.
Yeah, he reviews truck stops. I watched that same video, Mike. It was amazing. He reviewed truck stop buffets. Was one of the things that he did. Yeah.
The Iowa 80 truck stop. Okay, so this 100% would be cheating. And I'm going to throw this link onto our Facebook page right now so people can go look it up. This 100% would be cheating because place is huge.
Well, and you know what was weird is I think it's actually close enough where Colin and I could get there in like 5 hours. I think that's essentially a long day trip for us, Colin. Walcott, Iowa. Let's see here. So it is, it's even better than that. It's 2.5 hours. It's 2.5 hours one way, Colin. We could get there. It's less time than it takes to get to Chicago.
There is a damn interactive map for this thing.
Uh-huh.
An interactive map.
Yeah,
Let's see. Eat. You have the kitchen, you have Wendy's, you have Caribou Coffee and Einstein Brothers Bagels, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Dairy Queen and Orange Julius, Blimpie, and Chester's Chicken. This is all at one truck stop.
Yeah.
Service and amenities.
Yeah. At that point, you might as well. At that point, you might as well actually stay at the cheapest possible place to find yourself stuck, which would probably be Six Flags.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, and that would 100% be cheating. Like, okay, where Walt Disney World?
Yeah.
No. Disney World wouldn't work. Six Flags would.
Why? Why
because
wouldn't
Six
Disney
Flags,
World work?
Because Disney World is set to pay for the food. You don't have to pay for food at Six Flags. If you have
What? I've had to pay for food at Six Flags.
If you have the food pass, so if you have an annual pass at Six Flags, and you have the food
wait!
pass
There was no
as
talk
well,
of money.
you have unlimited food.
Yeah, we weren't talking
I'm
about
sorry.
cost. We were locked
I know.
in.
I'm saying in real life,
We were
if
stealing.
you managed to get stuck in a Six Flags, you would actually have free food and drink.
I'm so confused. Okay. I'm confused. I guess I misunderstood the whole point of the exercise here.
No, you didn't understand. I was saying, looking at that giant gas station we were looking at, I said,
Well,
if you're going to stay there, you might as well just say you're going to stay at Six Flags. I'm not
well,
saying.
okay, but
By the way,
but I flat out said that would be 100% cheating. And now, to your point about 7-Eleven, that's open 24/7. So there's no locked in. There's always somebody there.
which, by the way, this idea isn't new. If you want to see a movie, do you guys know what movie kind of goes along with this?
Day of the Dead.
No.
Dawn of the Dead.
I was thinking a
It's
comedy.
the one where they got locked in the mall.
Oh, I don't know about that. I was talking about the
Dawn of the
movie Career Opportunities from 1991.
Oh, I thought
Do what?
no. I was at the terminal. Tom Hanks stuck in the airport.
No, it's a John.
That is an awesome movie.
So John Hughes wrote the movie. It stars Frank Whaley and Jennifer Connelly. And it was a 1991 comedy romance film.
Don't say any more because this might wind up on the list.
So I'm really surprised it hasn't shown up on the list because it's one I've watched several times. My wife hated it, but yeah.
So
Barnes and Noble actually wrote a article about 16 things we do if we were locked in a bookstore overnight. Figure out how to work the coffee pot. Bookstore manager finds us asleep in a chair holding the espresso maker instruction manual. That's not something you would do. Replace all the staff picks with our own picks. Decide to finally tackle infinite jest. This is stupid. Relax from mental breakdown by trying out all the gel pens by the register. Okay, that's funny. Go in the back room just to see if it's an interest to a magical land. Instagram a photo of ourselves sitting on a pile of books like a bookworm emperor. Find the wheelie ladder and take a ride. Yeah, Night of the Living Dead.
One with Bing Rames and
rearrange the shelves just a tiny bit. Pretty sure I've been to the I-81.
And so,
Yeah.
are there staffers or is this self-run? I can figure out how to work an oven.
I think microwave we can handle. And, we do have our phones and Google. We can figure out slushy machine. You know.
The idea here is not like end of the world apocalypse. The idea is you just happen to get locked in for the weekend, and then a snowstorm hits, so you're the only one. The people aren't coming in.
Yeah. And
so that's kind of the idea.
And there's no repercussions when they come in Monday and find that you have eaten them out of all their profits.
You have done a good job. So, like,
yes,
full-on cheating would be me saying, okay, I'm stuck at one of the casinos in Atlantic City. Or Vegas. That is full-on 100% cheating.
Yeah.
The idea is, ooh, I like this one.
Bed what is actually beyond.
I like this idea.
Okay, we got to think about that because they don't have a lot of food. Right, so they do.
No, they have the snack stuff.
Yeah, they have the snack stuff.
They have the snack stuff.
Yeah, and the Soda Stream stuff. They do have that. They have a big Soda Stream section, but you're not eating well. All right. No. By the morning of day 2, when you're gonna go, I wish they at least had jerky, because I'm so tired of sweet.
No, listen, no, I'm not staying in a brewery. I am not. No. This was part of the plot of Moonlight Madness. Moonlight or Midnight Madness?
Midnight Madness. Midnight Madness.
No, I've got Pabst Blue Ribbon on my mind. That or a strange brew.
Yeah. No.
Get me out of here! I got a ways to throw. Anyway.
All right. Speaking of places, Walmart.
What about Chuck E. Cheese? Does that count?
Chuck E. Cheese would be an interesting place. It would count. What would you do at you'd have to figure out how to get free play on all the machines, or just steal tokens.
All you need is the key.
Yeah, you'd have to find the key.
Yeah, you go in the back room, you find the key, you open the thing, just go click it, click it, click, 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 do it. Yeah. No issue.
Yeah, but because you could get to the prize table already, is there a joy in winning tickets?
It doesn't matter. You just who cares about the tickets? Not everything in Chuck E. Cheese is about tickets.
Well, true.
Although I'm thinking Dave and Buster's. Dave and Buster's would be an even better one.
There was
if Chuck E. Cheese is allowed, Dave and Buster's would be a better one.
Dave and Buster's would be better.
Alcohol.
Well, Dave and Buster's would. They got beer at Chuck E. Cheese. They don't have hard liquor, but they got beer. Chuck E. Cheese has a liquor license here.
They have
the beer.
Why do you think there's so many fights at Chuck E. Cheese?
Okay, let's ask this question though. If you were at a Chuck E. Cheese,
is that just a general life philosophy, or is that in relationship to something?
Really making me I am further. Okay, well, see, but now I gotta walk it back. Now I gotta walk it back.
I would spend a lot of time on that stupid bowling ball game where you have to get the thing to stop at the right spot.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'd continue with my self-destructive behavior, and I would just play every shooting game possible.
I think I would have to at least once cannonball into the ball pit. You know, just because you're never allowed to do that as an adult.
In the ball pit.
Maybe at the very end of the night.
Yeah.
Bazinga.
Maybe at the very end of the night, when I know that they're finally going to let me out, so I can make sure I can get to the hospital. Just in case something in that ball pit is going to give me super ultra COVID.
I don't know that they have laser tag.
Dave & Buster's
in ours.
would be cool because they have the golf simulator. So by the time I got out of there, I may actually be able to golf.
Okay, so we were talking about all the different stores. One of the things that's happening right now is Walmart has just revealed a list of 160 locations which are being turned into temporary drive-in movies.
Movie theaters. All sold out already.
Yeah. So.
And then,
well, how are they sold out?
We actually have a real drive-in, so don't need that.
how are they?
Because it's limited showings, and the two dates that they're doing in New Jersey are like this week. So they're sold out. They're only doing a certain. Because I looked as soon as I saw it. Like our town did a drive-in thing at. Okay, so last year our town spent at least $1 million. I don't know the exact amount. Resurfacing the soccer field for the rec department with AstroTurf. Or it may have been the football field. I think it was the soccer field. And so what do they do? No, I'm sorry. It was the soccer field, but they reseeded it and to make sure that the growth was good and ready for this season. So what do? They have a drive-in movie, a pop-up drive-in movie theater on this soccer field that they spent all of this money reseeding and getting ready pre-COVID for soccer. Now they have all these cars driving and parking on it. And, of course, everyone loves it because the kids love it. Yeah. Meanwhile, when the kids start rolling their freaking ankles when soccer season finally starts up next week, okay.
So, yeah, it looks like if I was to look for...
and by the way, the location in New Jersey, the one Walmart in New Jersey that they're doing this is like in borderline hood. Like...
So I just checked our drive-in because I was curious what they're showing. So we have two screens, and on screen one they're showing Batman Returns, followed by The Dark Knight. And on screen two, they're showing Bohemian Rhapsody, followed by School of Rock.
Bloomington is the closest that the Walmart drive-in will get here. To here. Oh.
Okay. Different topic because I'm curious, Mike. So, all the rest of us, been dealing with COVID, a little this, a little that. So I hear that you're being attacked by the spotted lanternfly.
I ain't seen one yet, but if I do, I'm gonna catch it cooking and eat it.
That is a weird-looking thing.
This actually made the local news broadcast this today, and realtors were posting up in the community groups warning us about this, and I'm like, man, listen, get out of here, really? And then it hits the local news. I'm like, what? That if you see one, you're supposed to call the state police. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Dun dun.
What is this, under quarantine for the lanternfly? What?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean under quarantine? Now I can't go out because of this thing?
Yep.
And how did you find about
the spotted lanternfly?
Yeah.
Native to China and South Korea, of course. Has reportedly arrived in the United States, specifically Berks County, Pennsylvania, in 2014.
Oh no! I recognize the website as soon as you put up New Jersey 101.5. Okay.
The voice of New Jersey.
8 New Jersey counties are under quarantine. What the hell does that mean? With that, anyone who travels in these counties is asked to do an inspection of their vehicle before leaving. So basically, if you're in one of those 8 counties, go to a car wash as soon as you or go to an acid wash. Do something.
So it appears like
you're not bringing these things back.
It appears like not only that, but you guys have had issues from Storm Isaiah as well.
Yeah.
And evidently,
no. I'm sorry. It's Isaias.
Isaias.
Yes.
'Cause
we don't do anything easy here in New Jersey.
Evidently, they're having trouble getting people to come out when they have to leave notes on trees.
Okay, so let me tell you what this is about.
Yeah.
The number of trees that took down power lines from this storm was almost as great as when Superstorm Sandy hit way back when.
Mm-hmm.
And people are actually putting notes saying that was like for the power company, when you get here, this is my cell number, give me a call so I know that I can come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does not look well. So,
Now, knock on wood, we lost power for like an hour. And I had just replaced my battery backup for my cable modem. I had rerouted my router to it, but what is this? A 1500 VA UPS would get me 400 minutes of runtime on my router and modem. With my laptop, I probably could have continued working, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna kill myself right now. If let's just preserve the power.
yes.
But we were only out an hour. Some places were out for like a week and a half. One of Kim's cousins was actually one of the families I was telling you about earlier that the power surge fried all of their electronics and their well pump.
Ooh.
Because they're on well water. So the insurance company said, no, go to a hotel immediately. And ironically, they went to the first hotel they checked into. They had to leave the next day because all of Trump's Secret Service were staying there. Oh, God. I would like to address this real quick.
Uh-huh.
Because between the messages that the ant on the hill and now this one, the stalker of all things Jersey, what's going on here, people?
Well, Mike, you're just
I need to be worried?
You're just a sexy beast that people can't keep their eyes off of.
Well, I understand this, but listen, let's be clear. All of these things I'm putting up in my Facebook story, it's an app. I don't really look like that.
Yeah, Mike, you've kind of gone crazy. You've kind of gone a bit nuts. You're getting as bad as The Rock. All right. Every day I go, what's Mike replaced his face on now?
Well, let's see.
You know.
Let's see what the new one is today. Because Kim got mad at me the other day. She said, this is, it's all the same crap that you're putting your face. Of course.
Who did you put your face on now, Mike? Are you Chef Emo Lagazzi today? Or are you?
Nope. Sharing it to my story right now. Today, I am Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
Exactly.
Oh, Mike. Jeez.
So yes, I'm well aware that this is putting me up in Russia somewhere. I know it. I don't care. I truly don't. There we go. Okay, it's been added to my story. I don't. Yes, Matthew McConaughey. I've been Vin Diesel. I've been Edge from WWE. I've been Harrison Ford. I don't pick a Post Malone. Kim laughed about that one. She said, it's weird. That one, I had to do a double take because I didn't think you replaced anybody's face. I said, so now I'm like the clean Post Malone is what she's saying. And for those who don't know who Post Malone is,
he's a Postmaster General.
Yeah.
He's the one taking all the
He's
mailboxes out of New Jersey.
Oh no! Don't do it. Don't go there.
Single-handedly ruining all the mail-in voting.
No, single-handedly ruining stuff. Well, okay, there we go. Tangent number 5. We're meeting our quota. What the shit is going on here that Will Smith and Kevin Hart, all right, apparently The Rock has gotten too big that he's turned his back on Kevin Hart now, so Kevin Hart is now latching on to Will Smith.
Wow.
And so Kevin Hart is like the Remora of Hollywood, it seems. And yes, I am aware that Will Smith voiced a shark in a Pixar movie, I think, or whatever, or DreamWorks movie, whatever. They're going to remake Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Are they going to do Throw Mama from the Train next?
Well, here's my question, because now that I'm trying to think about this. For those who don't know, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was John Candy and Steve Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of these two knuckleheads is going to play John Candy, and which one's playing Steve Martin? Because neither one of these is going to play a loser. Right?
What? Well, they're still working on it. And, of course, it's going to be a modern update.
They did that already. They did an update of that. It's called Due Date with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis. That was a modern update. They had cell phones, they had rental cars, they had money, they had jobs. There you go. That was the update. So what are they going to do now?
And
listen, we're going to take our private jet there, you know. No. Don't do it. Don't remake it.
Yeah.
Just don't. All right. Anything with John Candy in it, don't touch it.
no.
It's off limits.
I agree.
Anything with Robin Williams in it, off limits.
You know, it I doubt that it will do well. I don't think. I mean, we always say this. You know, there are some classics that don't need to be rewritten. There's just some things. Or if you're going to do it, don't name it the same thing. If you're going to reimagine the script, just call it like Getting Home or something else. Don't say, hey, we're redoing this movie. Just call it something else, and then somebody can say, well, it's a ripoff of this movie. Yeah, you're right. But we didn't want to insult them by saying it's their movie. We just did something similar.
At least write it. You know? I mean, there is the big, Ghostbusters with women for a couple years ago. Big problem with that was not that they redid Ghostbusters with women. The problem was that they took a movie that's one of the best written movies of all time and replaced it with a modern day, well, we put a whole bunch of funny people in a room and pointed cameras at them and had them improv for half a year and then try to make a movie out of it.
Yeah, I mean, look at what they did, what we anticipate they did with the kids, right? With the kids Ghostbusters 1. Yeah. From the trailers, it looks like it's a movie, like it's a real movie, right? You know, it's not just improv nonsense.
Yeah.
No, and it's the new one that's coming out is supposedly a continuation of the first two.
Yes.
Because it takes place in the future, and somehow there's a relationship to Egon. Right, that we know.
Yeah.
So it's a continuation. It's very similar, like Jumanji. Okay, we kind of at first we hated on it.
Yeah, thought it was going to be horrible
when we heard it, but then when we saw it was Jumanji. Welcome to the Jungle was to Jumanji the same way Butterfly Effect 2 was to Butterfly Effect. It was the same concept, but wasn't a direct sequel. It wasn't trying to replace it. It just followed a similar storyline.
Yeah, it took the same vehicle to tell a story, but it was its own story.
But
Kind of like
it
how,
also
kind of
will
like
in
how Deep
the
Blue
same-
Sea 2 and 3 are not actually sequels, well, 3 is actually a sequel to 2, but 2 was not a sequel to 1.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was still a sequel to the original. I mean, you had there were references of them finding stuff that was left over from Robin Williams' character. That's happened a couple times in both of the movies. Um, the latest one ended up also referencing the original one, and so it was still respectful of the original. It was still a real movie.
Respectful and referencing, like paying homage to, is different than kind of existing in the same universe, I guess, is where or being a direct continuation.
Right. But Jumanji is even more so a direct continuation of the original. In fact, they directly, in the latest Jumanji, they actually, I forget what was the character's name. So at the end of this latest movie, they end up at this restaurant, and the restaurant is run by a woman who is from the original Jumanji movie.
Okay, see, I just took that as a nod to the original.
No, it's a direct connection. And then if they continue with another movie, then it's going to directly reference the first movie of Jumanji leaking back into the real world, just like it happened in the first movie.
Wait, if The Rock is
I'm
involved
assuming
in this.
it's going to happen, but I haven't seen any news, so I was just leaving it.
Well, yeah, you know why? Because The Rock is too busy with the Titan games, tequila, working out, playing with his kids, Fast and Furious,
Hobbs and Shaw,
Under Armour,
the headphone company.
XFL, the headphone company,
Working out.
buying into NASCAR. He's got. That's why it hasn't happened yet. We'll be dinging.
Let me see here.
See people seeing my Matthew McConaughey.
Oh,
I get messages like when this is up. I get messages, people telling me either they love or hate him. I mean, yes,
So
it's up there.
back on April 7th, Jake Kasdan, the director of the newer Jumanji movies, said that it is under development.
Okay, let's since we're talking about movies, let's talk about this one real quick.
Yeah.
I saw something about AMC
Yeah.
that their theaters are going to start opening up. I'm going to say this month because I don't remember the exact date, and I'm assuming it's going to be dependent upon whether or not they're allowed to state by state. Because New Jersey, I know they're not allowed to. But they're going to have 15-cent tickets in honor of the ticket prices when they first opened. So,
well, they got to do something.
So in COVID times, would you guys go to the movies?
No.
And
No,
okay.
But honestly, I didn't go to the movies before COVID time. I didn't go.
That was going to be my
beforehand.
other question. Was going to be what would have to happen in order to get you to buy one of those 15-cent tickets?
I mean, here's
a vaccination shot to go with the ticket.
Well, I mean, even that, it says after opening day, tickets will still be available for cheaper than usual. Tickets for films like Inception, Black Panther, Back to the Future, and Empire Strikes Back will cost $5. All movies that I have on DVD or Plex already.
Well, yeah. I get that. I'm talking about going to see a new movie like Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Well, but here's the thing. I think that the model for the theater is over. I think that we have proven at this point, and I think it's not going to be long now, that just digital distribution, putting movies straight out to the consumers has now shown to be a viable option. And even as much as the theaters want to hold hostage those new releases, I think the movie studios, the production companies, and all that kind of stuff said, hey, listen, we can make more money doing it this way, cutting out the middleman and doing a mass market release. It worked for Trolls. It worked for this. It worked for that. And it's one less contract we have to negotiate. And listen, we've got Amazon. We've got Netflix. We'll probably create our own companies.
Well, two things. One, I think certain movies, yes. Certain genres, certain types of movies, yes. Others, maybe not. I also think that stance is going to hinge very much on how Mulan does on Disney Plus, because when I saw the pricing for the release direct on Disney Plus, I said, "Whoa, this is." Because what is it, $29 plus your Disney Plus subscription?
Well, but let's think about this. But let's think about this, okay? If you have,
Colin,
what'd you say, Colin?
Colin, what'd you say, Colin?
Well, so the other movies that came out first that way, they came out and he spent a whole buttload of money to watch it, and it was a rental. Well, Mulan, they're at least leaving you with permanent access, as long as you have Disney Plus.
Yeah, so that's going to be a big thing, is how archive availability of the film after the fact, okay? Yeah. Because let's think about this. Let's think about the typical family of 4, all right? They go to the movies to watch this film. How much is it going to cost mom, dad, and 2 kids to go see the film once? Because their kids are going to want popcorn. They're going to want soda. They're going to want this and that and the other. It's more than $30.
But here's the thing, that for some families, that's like a monthly outing. That's something that you reward the kids with, to go out and you get to eat popcorn and snacks while you're watching a movie and you're in this big comfy seat. So I think there's still a market for it.
But there's also a market.
I think the market will change. And what I am thinking, I'm envisioning more like a karaoke club. And by that, I mean one of those ones where you rent the room for your friends and yourself and you do karaoke. It's basically an individual karaoke party, right? So imagine a movie theater where instead of...
You want to rent a screening room.
Yes. And you book the room and you get the whole theater experience with your crew.
There could be a spot for that.
Rent the room and pick from which movies you want to watch.
You might as well stay. I think it's the opposite. I think the exact opposite of where movie theaters still work is the big IMAX type theaters where you just cannot get the same effect in your own home.
Well, yeah, but not every movie is IMAX.
Well,
so are you saying that those do not get theatrical release? Those just go...
No, every movie can be shown in an IMAX type theater. I'm just saying that all remaining theaters are going to be IMAX type theaters. What's not going to be there possibly are the extra screens that have a very small number of... maybe that's where you can do your karaoke thing in it, but long term, I think that's where shaggy is.
Like I think the days of the 15-screen multiplex are over.
Yeah. Well,
unless you do smaller, where it's like, smaller group rentals, if you will.
Well, and Mike, to the point you made earlier about, it's a night out for the family, right? Where you said that's a special thing you do. On the flip side of that, you have the adults, who maybe love Disney movies, right? Who go to see a Disney movie because they have to in a theater, but they wish they could go to a place that didn't have children in it because they ruin the experience, right? Because a kid can only watch a movie for so long, and then their attention span is gone, right? So the adults wish that they could have an adult-only experience, and they're willing to pay a premium for that. So that's where this being able to watch it at home in my big surround sound, without a kid that I can't spank, who's throwing popcorn at me and their mother doesn't care, I'll pay the money for that experience. That's you're going to have that market too.
Yeah, and there's a difference between just trying to go like a couple different ends of the spectrum here. There's a difference between going to the movies to see Toy Story 4, right? 4,
yeah, sure.
That's the one that just came out with.
Mm-hmm.
4.
Sure.
Right. There's a difference between going to see Toy Story 4 and John Wick 3. You got two completely different crowds.
You should have, let's put it that way, but we end up with tons of jerk kids at movies that they don't belong at.
Okay, fair enough.
But you also just listed two movies that I absolutely would have to see in a movie theater.
Do what?
He wouldn't have to see those in a movie theater, he says.
No, the opposite.
Okay.
Those are two examples of movies that I would have to see in a movie theater.
Oh, see, I wouldn't.
But I mean, my point was more along the lines of family versus.
Yeah.
You have two completely different demographics that you're marketing to with those films. That was more why I chose those two. I think we all agree the movie theater industry as it existed pre-COVID will not exist going forward.
Oh yeah, I think 100%.
We all agree with that.
Their monopoly, if you want to call it that, on new releases, I think is definitely over. They're going to have to come up with some type of a cooperative release strategy for online viewing. Now, what that is, just like the video rental stores had to come up with a coexisting strategy for when releases came out with online distribution. That had to happen too. So we're just coming into a next evolution. So
Yeah, there's
Mama Blair sent this through.
yeah.
Yeah, A-list. Maybe that's part of the thing that A-list. You join, or your membership in AMC gets you to watch
a streaming AMC
at home.
convert to a streaming service.
Maybe.
AMC can't do that. They don't have enough. They don't have a library to do it with. AMC is barely holding on now.
They get bought and turned into Amazon Prime viewing stations.
Yeah, I think that's what needs to happen.
Yeah,
I think Amazon needs to buy them. They need to put the money into. Shaggy, you never go to the movie theater, so I'm not sure when the last one is that you went to. But the experiences have been changing.
Yeah. Well, I know they got a bar now and stuff and they got more comfortable seats, but still, it's a long time coming, and it's definitely going to continue to change. So,
I just know that the experience of seeing, for example, 1917. I saw 1917 in IMAX, or it could have been a theater. It doesn't matter. But that was a mind-shattering movie to experience. And I just do not think the experience of seeing that movie can ever be the same at home as it was in the movie theater.
Well, and
because you feel away from it.
Well, and that's true. And people have said similar things, like I don't think reading an ebook will ever be the same as reading a real book. And people have said that kind of stuff all over the place at different points in time on different conversations, and stuff like that evolves over time. So definitely something to keep in mind. But we all agree things are definitely changing. Which way they change, nobody's going to know because our crystal ball is broken.
So, I will admit, I do regret not seeing Avatar in the movie theater when it was out. First time I saw it was at home.
Terrible movie.
So I do agree that there are certain movies that you need to have that kind of scale for. But
Yeah.
I also think that the times for the studios to put the money into movies like that has passed.
Yeah.
I do not think, at least not for a while, I don't think you're going to see studios putting $100 million, $200 million in a budget into a film. I don't think they will, at least not for a while, because nobody knows how the landscape is going to be. So
they still will, just whether or not it gets. I mean, that has nothing to do with the movie theater. I mean, Marvel's going to make their $300 million movies, and they're going to make $1.5 billion off of it. They doesn't have to go to a movie theater for that.
Well, yeah, okay. I'm not talking about like merchandising tie-ins, and I'm not talking about international. I'm just talking about just the economics of the movies, the scale. I don't know if you're gonna like what was Avatar the biggest budget for a movie? What was the most expensive movie to make?
Let's look. I'll pull it up here. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, $378.5 million for an individual movie.
10.
Okay, so I have a couple of theories about this. The first one is any movie that relies heavily on digital effects.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has a better chance of
The Hobbit trilogy, by the way, is the most expensive back-to-back film production. Combined cost of $623 million.
Okay, no studio is going to commit $600 million to
3 films.
or even so that's $200 million a film. You are not going to see studios commit to that. Not in the near term.
The Avengers.
Because there's not an avenue for them to make that back in a reasonable amount of time.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you look at it, okay, Man of Steel in 2013, $225 million. Nobody's going to take a risk like that again, given that.
No.
Unless
You're never going to have another Avengers.
Unless it's a guaranteed, unless somebody goes, you know what, this is absolutely guaranteed to work. Look at the star power involved. Look at the storyline. This is a proven product. You're not going to get something brand new like that.
As stupid as it sounds, the movie that I think is going to get probably a bigger budget than it should compared to other films of the genre, I will guarantee you that Marvel's Blade remake is going to get going to get more than its share of budget, of promotion, of release. That movie's going to get pushed hard, and I hope to hell it does, because I am so looking forward to that. Almost as much as I'm looking forward to the return of Scarlet Witch. Oh, my God, WandaVision. Oh, I love me some Scarlet Witch. Avengers Endgame was on. Not Endgame. Age of Ultron was on the other day, and when she first appeared, and that one scene at the very end, when they show the new Avengers, and she turns around, I'm like, oh, there she is. There you are. Yeah, you are. All right.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, Lord of the Rings is actually getting a new TV series.
That is
being created by Amazon.
Oh, stupid.
And it's going to cost, the estimates are it's going to cost roughly $1 billion.
And that's what Jeff Bezos earns in a week. So
and so they are still going to be spending all of this money on these extremely expensive movies, but they made this show up on Amazon Prime.
Wow. And okay, But again, that's kind of changing the landscape. But I have to ask. So let's use Avatar as an example.
Mm-hmm.
If that was done on Amazon Prime, if that was done by Amazon and released on Prime instead of in a theater, how many people would really have the means to truly appreciate it? And I'm saying that, framing it in my example before, that I regret not seeing it on the biggest screen I possibly could. You know?
Yep.
So I have consumed some alcohol, so maybe this is not making sense. But I think there's still a large part of the population that does not have the means to truly appreciate a large-scale production. Therefore, they still need the theater.
Okay.
And if the theaters are not there, then I don't think companies are going to be willing to spend as much. I also think that Amazon is smart enough that they're not going to go as grandiose as they normally would have if they know it's only going on Prime. Why? Because most people are streaming Prime on their smart TVs, their computers. They don't have to upscale it to have the audio fill the 7.1 Dolby surround in a theater and have the visuals be so spectacular that they fill out this giant IMAX screen. Everything is kind of scaled down. So,
All right.
I don't know if I'm making sense or not. But
Yeah.
I know.
Look at Disney Plus, and they're making over $100 million. I'm not sure. I know it's safely to say they're making well over $100 million a month off Disney Plus. So making expensive movies just to provide more material, that's all it takes.
hi, Toasty Tune.
All right, folks. That pretty much wraps it up for tonight's show. Whoa, that's a bit hot tonight. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Ran a little bit longer than our normal show, but we started late, so that kind of works out. We do want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to check out PTRradio.com. Also check us out at PTR Radio on all the social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also follow us all individually. All that contact information is at our website. Again, that's PTRradio.com. We go live every 2 weeks. Normally, we end the show with a double feature movie review, but this week had to kind of push that off just because of everything else that happened. But, if you were confused about what the show's really about, well, then job done. We did it. Tangents. That's what we talk about right now. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Throw it into a blender and spin until combined. So we'll be back again on the 31st. That's right. We go live every 2 weeks. If you want to see what some of the previous shows were about, subscribe to our RSS feed. Subscribe to the podcast. Get some of the back episodes. Get yourself caught up. Plenty of stuff to listen to. We've been doing this for over 10 years. Actually, close to 15, if you can believe it or not. Not everything's available on the podcast. We don't want you to have to live your entire life just to listen to the show. We ask for just a portion of it. What do you mean, why not, Mike?